This is going to be an interesting one indeed. It was brutal. God, it was hard to cast. It was not the easiest one of these I've ever done, guys. I've done over 80. You can check them out on the channel, all these fan cast videos. School of Rock is... I mean, they'd just be casting a lot of unknown actors. Not necessarily all of them would be unknown to the kids, but a lot of them, so it was difficult. But we'll get to that in a second. First off, which of these fan casts do you guys want to see as next Sunday's fan cast? You let me know down in the comments. Vote for one of these. So, do you want to see Harry Potter? Oh, God! That'd be a lot. Do you want to see Rip Van Winkle? As a fan cast? Okay, right. Do you want to see Cinderella? Do you want to see The Matrix? Or do you want to see Big Hero 6? There'll be a comment down there pinned. You guys vote on which one of those you want to see next Sunday. This week we're doing School of Rock, and my God, it was not the easiest. It was a bit annoying. It is quite difficult. When you search on Google for young actors, it shows up a list from like 3 years ago of actors under 20. And now they're all in their mid-20s. And it's... so frustrating to actually try and find people that still at least are like 18 or so, could still play a school age of some kind. I mean, the original School of Rock, you were talking, the kids, a lot of them were. They were proper children cast in that. A lot of them were like 12, 13. It was so hard. It's so hard. So I have cast a lot of the children in this around the age of more like 18. 17, 18. Because... how? There just aren't enough kid actors that are known quantities of any kind. They'd just be casting unknowns. But to do a video like this, you gotta cast it like this. So here we go. First off, Judy Finn. Quite simple. It's quite simple. Elementary, my dear Watson. Judy Finn is musically inclined. Proper rocker. Kind of mid-30s area is probably what you're looking at. He's eclectic, and he's really hyped all the time as a character. I found it just... so delightfully easy, while feeling worried about how to cast all the kids in this, to just go, yes, let's cast Adam Devine as Judy Finn. So easy, so easy. And I imagine people will come up and say, oh, what about Chris Pratt? No, guys, it's too easy to cast Chris Pratt in any leading man role. Because he can do both sides. He can do the proper leading man, action star, or he can do the goofy guy. But... no, it's too easy. You know, Adam Devine is more, I'd say, musically inclined as well. And we've seen him as this... it's a similar character to Judy Finn, I feel, Bumper, in the Pitch Perfect films. It's similar in some ways. A grown-up version of Bumper. That's Judy, down to a T. Next, Ned Schneebly. The only way to describe him is submissive. His entire character arc is coming out from under the thumb of his domineering girlfriend. Let's not think about that too much. But he is Ned's roommate, who is a pushover. And his girlfriend's trying to push him over one direction, getting rid of Judy, while Judy is trying to push him over the other direction, getting rid of his girlfriend. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to cast, and it's an interesting casting, I'm going to cast Andrew Garfield. I really like him in various things where he has played similarly pushover kind of roles, but he adds something more to it. He feels like quite a meek character in, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man films, in Hacksaw Ridge, and yet he's the hero. So I think there's more you can do with Ned's character, and I think he could do it well. It's difficult to know. I don't think they need someone as big as Andrew Garfield, because Ned's not even really the secondary character. You'd kind of put the principal second, and then, like, a lot of the kids probably have more screen time than him as well. So they probably wouldn't get Andrew Garfield for it. But, I mean, all of our fan casts are more like Dreamcast than anything, so it's fine. Next. And then his girlfriend, Patty DeMarco. It just sounds like the name of a villain, doesn't it? A villainous girlfriend character. And that's what she is, pretty much. And Sarah Silverman was great. I love Sarah Silverman. She's so funny. And similar vibes to Sarah Silverman, I'd say, are given off by Krysten Ritter. Ah, Jessica Jones herself. But before that, she was in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. And I feel like in some ways that character is similar to Patty. I see it. And you just compare her side by side with Sarah Silverman, that's an actual real, yes, I totally see it casting. So I think that's good. And she can definitely, I think, play that bitch role. Be the bitch. Be the evil bitch. Be the girlfriend. Evil. That's all the role is. Maybe you can do more with that as well. I'm not entirely sure. Neither of them are all that important in the grand scheme of the film, honestly. But they're also there. Next. Now these bloody children. I haven't cast all of them. Honestly, guys, we'd be here for a long time. I'd just be down to casting people who, these kids who I saw in this one thing that one time who are still vaguely the right age. It's difficult. But I think we've done a pretty good job. Summer Hathaway is the real boss, the big boss man Bing. She is just, well, she's just like the band manager. She doesn't even, she doesn't do anything. But Miranda Cosgrove initially, great job. She was great. What a child actor. Brilliant job. For this one, I'd like to see Malina Weissman do it. She was in the Netflix series Unfortunate Events. She is still only 18, I want to say now. 18, 17. So, could definitely still play high school age. She is still high school age. And I think she'd be really good at that from having seen her in the series Unfortunate Events at this bossy, kind of bossing around the teacher even, goody two-shoes role, who is willing to just take control as this band manager and do a really good job. I think that'd just be funny. And I haven't seen her in much else since that was on. That finished, right? I don't know if I ever saw the third season of that. Did they do a third season of that? Doesn't matter. I think she could do that really well. Next, Zach Mooneyham is the real MVP. It's Zach's song they play at the end. Zach is the real king of the film, okay? And I'd like to see Jaeden Martell play him. Now, this is the great thing. As much as you'd like to have all these kids have the real talents that they exhibit in the film, for the ones just playing instruments and not really singing that much, you don't need them to have any specific talents. You don't need them to. So you can get away with just saying, yes, Jaeden Martell, 18 years old, great, good, very good job doing this quite meek, coming into his own story in it. And that's all you need. That's what Zach is. He's the one whose story at home and stuff you really focus on more than any of the other kids. So, great. Jaeden Martell, he'd just be really good at it. And he is also still high school age. Next, Freddie Jones. Fred Jones? Like Scooby-Doo? Okay. He's the punky drummery kid. He's ooh, so tough. I'm just going to cast Asher Angel. Cast him for the first time recently, and I'm just happy to do it again here. Face it, when you do Sky High and School of Rock in the same week, there's going to be a couple of bits of overlap. It's just, I'm being honest here. And Asher Angel, yeah, in Shazam, Billy Batson did a really good job, would do a really good job again here as, bringing the cockiness on screen that he had in that role to another role where, instead of it not being deserved, like when we cast him as Zach, right, in Sky High, it would be more of a, he needs to tone it down, he needs to control how much of that he's doing, because he is kind of a bully at the start, really. But yeah, he'd be good at that. Next, Katie is the bassist. She has no character. She had no character. What was her character? I honestly can't think. What? I remember her existence. I think she was kind of tall. She had no character. I'd like to see Jenna Ortega take on the role. Again, I'm not sure if she can actually play bass. I'm not sure if she can sing. But I think she'd be really good at bringing character to the role. Because I don't feel like there was much there to begin with. And something of these sassier characters, very talk-backy, that she's played in previous roles would be very good, I think. I think Malina Weissman would play a more good girl version of Summer, and more of the talking back to Judy could come from Katie, just so everyone's getting character in some form. Next, Lawrence is hard to cast. The main thing about his character is that he's this piano player, but he doesn't feel like he's cool enough to be in a rock and roll band. He plays classical piano when he's first introduced. And I'd like to just see somebody, I think, like Julian Dennison play him. I've cast Julian Dennison a lot, and I usually cast him in these bad boy roles. But I'd like to see him do something like this, because in Godzilla vs. Kong he was playing a much more uncertain character who was being dragged along into this adventure. I hated that whole thing. Him, Millie Bobby Brown, their story was Oh, it was bad. But it's not important. I'd like to see that because I think he has dealt with characters who have self-image problems before already. And that'd be a really good aspect to drive home further about Lawrence, because it's one of the characters who has the most character to him. Yeah. Next. Finally, Billy. Now, yeah, you could go deeper and cast the backing singers and etc. down the class, but Billy's the last kid I'm going to cast because it's hard. It's hard to find this many kids, 17, 18-year-olds. Wow, it's rough. It just becomes a, okay, who are you? Yes, okay, you'll do you in this one thing. You know, Billy is a character who they didn't focus on a lot. He was just this guy who was very flamboyant and immediately happy to do the fashion for the band. And I would like to see them maybe cast someone like Jaeden Gallagher, because I really think he'd do the character justice. Again, Billy, not much character to him. More than Kitty. Kitty really had no character, but not much. I'd like to see Jaeden Gallagher do it because obviously as number 5, he is a fantastic actor. He's great. And a role more like this, something very sassy, maybe flamboyant still if you wanted it to be, or just not. Or just not. It can just be this quiet kid who speaks up and goes, I'd like to do the fashion. Doesn't have to be overly flamboyant. Don't want to do fashion. But I think that'll be good, you know. Next. And finally, Principal Rosaline Mullins. Ah, yes. Again, I wasn't entirely sure what age I wanted to cast her. It should be made clear that she's not really a love interest or anything for Judy. So I was happy casting her older than him. But I didn't think she needed to be really old. In the end, I settled on the idea, and I like it, of Judy Greer. She is as this strict mother character with a heart behind her. Just great. Just great. And kind of going a bit wild at some point, or really crazy or something. Just added to that. I think she'd be really good at that. She would give off similar vibes to the original character, I think, while doing something wilder with her, or funnier with her, or weirder with her. So as much as I think that cast, you know, overall, it's not going to beat the original, is it? I never really expect my cast to beat the original. It would work. And, I mean, frankly, they already had Adam Devine doing in Magic Camp on Disney Plus, like a very similar to Judy kind of role, and it'd be better if they just remade School of Rock instead of did more things like that, yeah. And that's all for this one, guys. Don't forget to vote down in the comments for which one of those fancasts you want to see next Sunday. There will be another fancast midweek, which I will just kind of choose from other suggestions, and there will be lots of other videos and streams all over the channel, all over the time, all the time, all the time. You better subscribe to keep up with all of that content. Tired.